The old starship Harmony's edge shook as another plasma blast hit its shields. Captain Kim Woo gripped his chair and watched the enemy ships chase them through the dark space between stars. 3 hegemony patrol vessels had found them near the Jupiter mining station. Now they were running for their lives again. "Shields down to 30%, called out Chief Engineer Park Soo from her station. Her hands moved quickly over the controls as she tried to keep their damaged ship together. "I can give you maybe 10 more minutes before we lose power completely." Kim Woo looked at the main screen. The 3 alien ships were getting closer. Each one was twice the size of his ship and had weapons that could turn the Harmony's edge into space dust. But he had something they did not have. He had a crew that would never give up. "Lee Na, find us a way out of here," he said to his young navigation officer. The girl was only 22 years old, but she could fly through asteroid fields like she was born in space. "Working on it, Captain," Lee Na replied. Her fingers danced over her console as she searched for an escape route. "There's a gas cloud 2 million kilometers ahead. If we can reach it, we might be able to hide." "Do it," Kim Woo ordered. He turned to his weapons officer. "Choi Min, give them something to think about." Choi Min smiled grimly and fired their last torpedo. It would not destroy the enemy ships, but it might slow them down. The older man had lost his wife and children when the hegemony first attacked Earth 5 years ago. Every shot he fired was for them. The torpedo exploded against the lead ship's shields. The enemy vessel slowed down but kept coming. Kim Woo could see they would not reach the gas cloud in time. They needed a miracle. Yang Bo sat at the communications station trying to jam the enemy signals. He was the newest member of their crew. Before the war, he had been a musician in Seoul. His fingers that once played beautiful piano music now worked to keep them alive. As he adjusted the frequency controls, something strange happened. Instead of jamming the enemy communications, Yang Bo accidentally broadcast something else. Music began to flow from their ship into space. It was Beethoven's 9th Symphony, stored in his personal files. The powerful music spread out in all directions like ripples in a pond. "Yang Bo, what are you doing?" Kim Woo asked. "I'm sorry, Captain. I made a mistake with the controls," Yang Bo replied quickly. He tried to stop the broadcast, but something incredible was happening. On the enemy ships, strange things began to occur. The hegemony crews were made up of different alien species. Most of them were slaves forced to fight for their masters. As the human music reached their ships, something awakened inside them. The first ship suddenly stopped firing. Then the second ship began to slow down. On the third ship, the alien crew started making their own sounds. They were singing along with the human music in their own strange way. "Captain, you need to see this," called Lee Na from her station. She put the long-range sensors on the main screen. All around them, other ships were appearing. Not hegemony ships, but vessels from a dozen different alien species. They had heard the music too. A message came through on their communication system. It was in broken human language, but the meaning was clear. "Human ship, we hear your song. We want to be free too." Kim Woo stared at the screen in amazement. Yang Bo's accidental broadcast had done something no weapon could do. It had reached across the darkness of space and touched the hearts of beings from different worlds. "This is impossible," whispered Park Soo. "How can music do this?" Before anyone could answer, another message came through their communications. This one was different. It came with heavy encryption and used old Earth military codes. Kim Woo's heart jumped as he recognized the signal pattern. "Yang Bo, decode that message now," he ordered. The young man's hands shook as he worked. The message slowly appeared on his screen. Kim Woo read it aloud to his crew. "To any human ship receiving this transmission, Earth Resistance Cell 7 has discovered the location of an ancient device. The cosmic resonator lies hidden in the Veil Nebula. Legend says it can amplify consciousness across the galaxy. If the stories are true, it might be our only hope to free all enslaved species. Cell 7 is compromised. Enemy forces closing in. May this message reach those who can use it. For Earth and freedom." The bridge fell silent. Everyone knew what this meant. The Veil Nebula was the most dangerous region of space. No ship that entered it had ever returned. But if there really was a device that could help them defeat the hegemony, they had to try. "Captain," said Choi Min quietly, "the enemy ships are withdrawing. They seem confused by what happened with the music." Kim Woo nodded. The immediate danger was over, but a bigger challenge lay ahead. He looked at each member of his crew. These brave men and women had already lost everything to the hegemony. Their families, their homes, their entire world was under enemy control. Yet they still fought. "Set course for the Vale Nebula," he commanded. "Sir, that's a death sentence," Park Soo protested. "Our ship can barely handle normal space travel. The radiation and gravitational fields in the nebula will tear us apart." "Maybe," Kim Woo replied. "But staying here is certain death. At least this way we have a chance to strike back." Lee Na programmed the navigation computer with trembling hands. The course to the Vale Nebula would take them through the most hostile region of the galaxy. They would face cosmic storms, alien, patrol fleets, and dangers that no human had ever encountered. As the Harmony's Edge turned toward its new destination, Kim Woo thought about Yang Bo's accidental discovery. Music had somehow connected them with alien minds across space. If a simple song could do that, what might this cosmic resonator be capable of? Behind them, the alien ships that had responded to their music were forming into a small fleet. They were following the human ship, drawn by something they could not fully understand. The song of freedom had called to them, and they were ready to answer. In the depths of space, Admiral Krickstar received reports of the strange incident. The hegemony commander had spent years hunting human rebels. This new development worried him greatly. If humans could somehow turn his own forces against him, the rebellion might spread beyond control. He ordered his fastest ships to pursue the Harmony's Edge. Whatever these humans were planning in the Vale Nebula, he would stop them. The order and stability of the hegemony depended on it. The race to the cosmic resonator had begun. The fate of every enslaved species in the galaxy hung in the balance, and somewhere in the darkness between stars, an old human warship carried the hopes of freedom toward the most dangerous destination in known space. 3 days after their escape, the Harmony's Edge floated quietly in the shadow of a dead moon. Captain Kim Woo studied the star charts on his screen. The Vale Nebula was still weeks away, and they needed supplies badly. Their food stores were running low, and Park Soo had warned him that their engines needed new parts soon. "Captain, I'm picking up a signal," Yang Bo called from his station. "It's coming from that hegemony supply depot in the next system. Looks like they're moving prisoners." Kim Woo frowned. Hegemony supply depots were heavily guarded, but they needed those supplies, and the thought of prisoners being transported to slavery camps made his blood boil. "What kind of prisoners?" "Mixed species, sir. The manifest shows humans, but also aliens from at least 6 different worlds." Yang Bo paused as he read more data. "One of them is listed as Dr. Han Sol. She's human, a scientist from the old Earth. Colonies." The name meant something to Kim Woo. Dr. Han Sol had been famous before the war for her work with alien communication. If she was still alive, she might be exactly what they needed for their mission. "Lee Na, plot a course to intercept that transport," he ordered. "We're going to rescue those prisoners." "Sir, that's very dangerous," warned Choi Min. "The depot has at least 20 guard ships." "Then we'll have to be smart instead of strong," Kim Woo replied. He turned to Yang Bo. "Can you use that music trick again?" Yang Bo looked uncertain. "I'm not sure, Captain. Last time it was an accident. I don't know if it will work the same way." "We'll find out," Kim Woo said. "Park Soo, how long until the engines are ready for combat?" The chief engineer wiped grease from her hands. "Give me 6 hours to finish the repairs. But Captain, even with working engines, we can't fight 20 ships." "We won't fight them," Kim Woo said with a slight smile. "We're going to confuse them." 6 hours later, the Harmony's Edge approached the hegemony supply depot. The massive station orbited a gas giant, its metal arms reaching out like the tentacles of some space monster. Guard ships patrolled in regular patterns around it. Kim Woo watched the enemy movements carefully. The hegemony was efficient, but predictable. Their ships always followed the same routes, their crews always responded the same way to threats. That was their weakness. Yang Bo, start broadcasting, he ordered. Use something with a strong rhythm, something that will grab their attention. Yang Bo's fingers moved over his controls. This time he chose Mozart's Requiem, a piece that had always moved him deeply. The music flowed out from their ship and spread across space toward the depot. The effect was immediate. On the guard ships, alien crew members began to slow down at their stations. The regular patrol pattern started to break apart as individual ships drifted off course. Some of the guards started making their own sounds, harmonizing with the human music in strange and beautiful ways. Now, Lina, Kim Woo whispered. Take us in fast and quiet. The young pilot guided their ship through the confused guard formation. None of the enemy vessels fired at them. Their crews were too busy listening to the music and feeling emotions. They had forgotten they could feel. They reached the prison transport without being detected. Park Soo used her engineering skills to cut through the transport's hull, while Yang Bo kept broadcasting the music. Inside, they found 30 prisoners from a dozen different species. Dr. Han Sol was easy to identify. She was a small woman with gray hair and intelligent eyes that lit up when she saw human faces. But it was one of the alien prisoners that surprised Kim Woo the most. The creature looked like a cross between a dolphin and a human, with blue-green skin and large dark eyes. When it spoke, its voice sounded like singing. I am Tala of the Nere people. We have waited long for the song of freedom to reach us. You can understand our music? Kim Woo asked in amazement. Music is the language of the soul, Tala replied. Your species has learned to speak it very well. My people were enslaved because we would not stop singing our own songs. The hegemony fears music because it awakens the mind. Dr. Han Sol stepped forward. Captain, I've been studying this phenomenon for years. I believe all conscious beings share certain harmonic frequencies. Your music broadcasts are triggering a resonance effect that breaks through the hegemony's mind control techniques. Mind control? Kim Woo asked. The hegemony doesn't just use force to control their slaves, Dr. Han Sol explained as they hurried back to their ship. They use sonic frequencies to suppress independent thought, but human music is so complex and emotionally rich that it can override their control signals. They reached the harmony's edge just as the guard ships began to recover from the musical confusion. Yang Bo stopped his broadcast and they quickly fled into deep space with their rescued prisoners. Later, as the ship traveled toward the Veil Nebula, Dr. Han Sol showed Kim Woo her research. She had spent years before her capture studying how different species communicated. Her work suggested that music might be a truly universal language. Every intelligent species we've discovered uses some form of harmonic communication, she explained. But humans are unique. Your music combines mathematical precision with deep emotional content. It can touch the consciousness of any thinking being. Yang Bo had been working with Tala and some of the other alien prisoners. They had taught him fragments of their own musical traditions. When he combined human melodies with alien harmonies, the results were stunning. Listen to this, Captain, Yang Bo said. He played a piece that blended human piano with Nere whale song and the crystal chimes of the Kethmaran people. The music seemed to speak directly to the soul. Even the ship's systems responded to the combined music. Park Soo discovered that the harmonic frequencies could actually improve their engine efficiency and strengthen their shields. It was as if the ship itself was learning to sing along. But their success had not gone unnoticed. Admiral Krickstar had received reports of the depot incident. The idea that human music could turn his own forces against him filled him with rage and fear. He ordered his fastest ships to pursue the rebel vessel. More importantly, he began developing new sonic weapons designed to counter the human music broadcasts. If these rebels thought they could use songs to defeat the mighty hegemony, they would learn otherwise. The Admiral also sent orders to all hegemony outposts. Any ship broadcasting music was to be destroyed immediately. No chances would be taken with this new form of rebellion. As the Harmony's Edge continued its journey toward the Veil Nebula, Its crew worked to understand their new weapon. Dr. Hansel and Yang Bo spent hours analyzing the harmonic patterns that seemed most effective against hegemony control systems. Tala and the other rescued aliens shared their own musical traditions, creating a growing library of galactic harmony. Each species had something unique to contribute to the cosmic symphony they were building. But Kim Woo knew their enemies would not stay confused forever. Admiral Krixtar was known for his ruthless intelligence. Soon the hegemony would find ways to counter their musical weapon. The race to the cosmic resonator was becoming more urgent with each passing day. If the ancient device really could amplify consciousness across the galaxy, it might be their only hope of defeating an empire that ruled 1,000 worlds. Behind them, invisible in the darkness of space, hegemony pursuit ships were closing the distance. The final confrontation was drawing near. 2 weeks into their journey to the Veil Nebula, the Harmony's Edge received an unexpected message. It came from deep space, using an old human military code that few people still remembered. "This is Commander John Mee of the Free Human Fleet," the voice said through the crackling transmission. "We've been tracking your harmonic broadcasts. We have information you need. Meet us at these coordinates." Kim Woo studied the location on his star charts. It was in the middle of an asteroid field, far from any hegemony patrol routes. It could be a trap, but they needed allies if they were going to reach the cosmic resonator. "Set course for the meeting point," he ordered Li Na. 3 days later, they arrived at a massive asteroid that had been hollowed out and turned into a secret base. Hidden inside were dozens of human ships and thousands of resistance fighters from many different species. Commander John Mee met them at the docking bay. She was a tall woman with scars on her face and fire in her eyes. Behind her stood other resistance leaders, including several aliens that Kim Woo had never seen before. "Welcome to Haven Station," John Mee said as she shook Kim Woo's hand. "We've been hearing about your music broadcasts all across the galaxy. You've started something incredible." She led them through the hidden base. Everywhere Kim Woo looked, he saw humans and aliens working together. In one section, engineers from 6 different species were building new ships. In another, scientists were studying harmonic frequencies. "How long has this been here?" Kim Woo asked in amazement. "We've been building this place for 3 years, John Mee replied. "But it's only been in the last month that we've seen real progress. Ever since your first music broadcast, enslaved species have been waking up all over the galaxy." She brought them to a large meeting room where a holographic map showed the entire galaxy. Red dots marked hegemony strongholds, while blue dots showed resistance cells. Kim Woo was amazed to see how many blue dots there were. "Each of these resistance groups heard your broadcasts," explained Chief Scientist Bei Jun, a thin man with thick glasses. "The music is spreading through subspace, creating what we call symphony nodes. Every time someone plays human music combined with alien harmonies, it creates a ripple effect." Dr. Han Sol studied the data with great interest. "This confirms my theories about harmonic resonance. The music isn't just entertaining these aliens. It's actually breaking down the neural blocks that the hegemony uses to control their minds." Yang Bo had been quiet since their arrival, but now he spoke up. "Sir, I've been working with our alien friends to create new musical combinations. Each species we've met has added something to our growing symphony. But I think we need more than just music to win this war. That's why you need to find the cosmic resonator," said a new voice. Everyone turned to see Kethmaran, a tall alien with silver skin and 4 arms. "I was once a hegemony scientist. I helped them develop their mind control technology. But when I heard your music, I remembered who I used to be before they enslaved my people." Kethmaran activated a holographic display showing the Veil Nebula. "The cosmic resonator is real. My people built it thousands of years ago before the hegemony conquered us. It was designed to create perfect harmony between all conscious beings in the galaxy." "What happened to your people?" Tala asked softly. "We used the device to ascend to a higher form of existence," Kethmaran replied sadly. "But we left the resonator behind, thinking other species might need it someday. We never imagined it would take so long for someone to find it." Dr. Han Sol and Kethmaran worked together to decode the exact location of the cosmic resonator. Using their combined knowledge of human and alien science, they pinpointed its position deep within the most dangerous part of the Veil Nebula. While the scientists worked, Kim Woo met with the other resistance leaders. Captain Yan Sik commanded a small fleet of converted cargo ships. Commander Park Kyung led a group of former Earth Defense Force officers who had been hiding in the Outer Rim. "We can't wait much longer," Park Kyung warned. "The hegemony is adapting to our music broadcasts. They've started using sonic dampeners to block our signals. Some of our symphony nodes have gone silent." As if to prove his point, an alarm began sounding throughout the base. "Hegemony ships approaching," announced the communications officer. "It's Admiral Krikstar with a full battle fleet." Kim Woo rushed to the command center where he could see the enemy ships on the long-range sensors. There were at least 50 vessels, including some of the hegemony's most advanced warships. "How did they find us?" demanded Jeon Mi. "They must have tracked our harmonic broadcasts," replied Beijun. "The same signals that free enslaved minds can also be used to locate us." The base erupted into activity as fighters scrambled to their ships and defense systems came online. But everyone knew they were outnumbered and outgunned. "We need to evacuate," Jeon Mi said. "If we lose Haven Station, the resistance will be set back years." Kim Woo made a quick decision. "Yang Bo, start broadcasting our strongest harmony pattern. Use everything we've learned from all the alien species. Maybe we can turn some of their crews against them." Yang Bo's fingers flew over his controls. As he combined human music with Neri whale songs, Keth Moran crystal chimes, and a dozen other alien musical traditions. The resulting symphony was unlike anything that had ever been heard in the galaxy. The effect was immediate. Several hegemony ships began to slow down as their crews struggled with returning memories and emotions. Some ships even stopped firing, as their alien crew members remembered their true identities. But Admiral Krikstar had prepared for this. His flagship and core vessels were equipped with the new sonic dampeners. The music could not reach their crews. He pressed his attack, determined to crush the resistance once and for all. "All ships. This is Kim Woo," the captain broadcast to the resistance fleet. "We cannot win this battle with weapons, but we can win it with hope. Every ship that can still move, head for the Veil Nebula. We'll meet you at the Cosmic Resonator." The evacuation was chaotic but successful. Most of the resistance ships escaped, while the symphony broadcast continued to confuse the hegemony forces. But Haven Station was lost, and with it many of their supplies and several irreplaceable people. As the Harmony's Edge fled toward the Veil Nebula with the surviving resistance ships, Kim Woo knew they were running out of time. The hegemony was adapting to their musical weapon faster than expected. Behind them, Admiral Krikstar surveyed the destroyed base with satisfaction. But his victory was incomplete. The human rebels had escaped, and their dangerous music was still spreading across the galaxy. "Sir," reported his second-in-command, "we're receiving reports of uprisings on 12 different worlds. The Harmony broadcasts are still working even without their main base." Krikstar's eyes burned with cold anger. "Then we'll have to end this at the source. Set course for the Veil Nebula. Whatever they're looking for in there, we'll make sure they never find it." The final race to the Cosmic Resonator had begun. The fate of every enslaved being in the galaxy would be decided in the most dangerous region of space ever discovered. The Veil Nebula stretched before them like a wall of purple and gold gas clouds. No ship that had entered this region had ever returned. Ancient gravitational storms twisted space itself into impossible shapes. Radiation levels could kill a person in minutes without proper shielding. "Captain, I'm reading massive energy signatures ahead," reported Li Na from her navigation station. Her voice was tight with fear. Even her incredible piloting skills might not be enough to get them through alive. The small fleet of resistance ships followed the Harmony's Edge deeper into the nebula. They had lost many vessels during the escape from Haven Station. Only 30 ships remained, carrying the last hope of freedom for the entire galaxy. Dr. Han Sol worked frantically at her station, trying to decode the final location of the Cosmic Resonator. "The energy readings are off the charts," she reported. "Whatever's in here, it's bigger than anything we've ever seen." Suddenly, space itself seemed to ripple around them. The stars twisted into spirals, and the gas clouds began to sing with harmonies that no human ear had ever heard. Yang Bo's instruments went wild as they detected music coming from the nebula itself. "It's beautiful," whispered Tala from her position, near the communications array. The Nere woman's large eyes filled with tears as she listened to the cosmic symphony surrounding them. Then they saw it. Through the swirling gas clouds, a massive structure appeared. It was not a ship or a station, but something far more incredible. The cosmic resonator was a living crystal formation the size of a small moon, pulsing with inner light and singing with the voices of a million worlds. "By all the gods," breathed Kethmoran. "My ancestors actually built this. I can feel their presence in the crystal matrix." Before anyone could respond, new ships appeared on their sensors. Admiral Krikstar had followed them into the nebula with 20 of his best vessels. The Hegemony Admiral was not going to let them reach the cosmic resonator. "All ships, battle stations," Kim Woo commanded. "This is what we came here for. We will not let them stop us now." The space battle that followed was unlike anything ever fought before. The strange energies of the nebula affected both fleets equally. Weapons fired in spirals, and shields created rainbow patterns in the cosmic dust. But the resistance ships had something the hegemony vessels lacked. They had hope. Yangbo began broadcasting their most powerful harmony combination. The music mixed with the natural songs of the nebula, creating something that touched the very fabric of space and time. Several hegemony ships began to drift away from the battle as their crews remembered who they used to be. But Admiral Krikstar had brought his most loyal officers, beings who had been with the hegemony so long, they had forgotten their original identities. His flagship pressed forward, its massive guns targeting the Harmony's edge. "Captain, we're taking heavy damage," reported Park Soo. "I can't keep the shields up much longer." Kim Woo made a desperate decision. "All remaining ships form up around us. We're going to make a run for the resonator. Whatever happens, don't stop until we reach it." The resistance fleet charged forward through the hegemony battle line. Ships exploded on both sides as the fighting reached its peak. Choi Min fired every weapon they had, his face grim with determination. This battle was for his lost family and every enslaved being in the galaxy. They were almost to the cosmic resonator when disaster struck. A hegemony torpedo hit the Harmony's edge directly, tearing a massive hole in their hull. The ship began to spin out of control, heading straight for the crystal surface. "I can't control her," Li Na shouted over the alarms. "We're going to crash." But as their ship approached the resonator, something incredible happened. The crystal formation began to sing directly to them. The music was so pure and beautiful that everyone on the ship stopped what they were doing to listen. Even the ship's systems seemed to calm down in response to the harmony. They did not crash. Instead, the Harmony's edge was gently pulled into a docking bay that formed itself out of the living crystal. As soon as they were inside, the wounds in their ship began to heal as the crystal grew new metal to seal the holes. "Welcome, children of Earth," said a voice that seemed to come from everywhere at once. "We have been waiting for you." Kim Woo and his crew found themselves standing in a vast chamber inside the resonator. The walls were made of singing crystal that showed images of 1,000 different worlds. In the center of the room stood figures made of pure light. "We are the harmonists," the light beings explained. "We built this device long ago to unite all conscious minds in the galaxy. But we learned that forced harmony is not true harmony. Each being must choose freedom for themselves." Dr. Han Sol stepped forward. "Can this device free all the enslaved species in the galaxy?" "It can," replied the harmonists. "But the choice comes with great risk. If used wrongly, the cosmic resonator could destroy every thinking mind in the galaxy instead of freeing them. The power to unite consciousness is also the power to end it." Outside, the battle continued to rage. Admiral Krikstar had landed his own forces on the resonator and was fighting his way toward the control chamber. Behind him came the true master of the hegemony, a being so ancient and evil that few had ever seen it and lived. Supreme Hegemon Vorth Axe was not like the other aliens in his empire. He was something far older and more terrible. For millions of years he had fed on the suppressed consciousness of enslaved beings. Every world the hegemony conquered made him stronger. The device must not be activated, Vorthax commanded in a voice like grinding stone. Destroy it if necessary, but do not let the humans use it. Inside the control chamber, Kim Woo faced the hardest decision of his life. The harmonists showed him how to operate the cosmic resonator. With it, he could send a wave of pure consciousness across the entire galaxy, reaching every enslaved mind and offering them the choice of freedom. But Yang Bo had discovered something terrible. Captain, I'm reading massive energy signatures approaching. That thing leading the hegemony forces, it's not just another alien. It's some kind of cosmic parasite that feeds on enslaved minds. If we free all the enslaved beings at once, it will starve, Dr. Han Sol realized. But if we fail, it will become strong enough to enslave the entire universe. The sound of weapons fire echoed through the crystal corridors as hegemony forces fought their way closer to the control chamber. Several resistance fighters had volunteered to hold them back, but they were vastly outnumbered. Captain, you have to decide now, urged Kethmaran. Either we use the resonator or we destroy it to keep it out of their hands. Kim Woo looked at his crew, these brave people who had followed him across the galaxy. Then he looked at the cosmic resonator's controls. The fate of every conscious being in the universe lay in his hands. Yang Bo suddenly smiled. Captain, I have an idea. What if we don't force harmony on anyone? What if we just give everyone in the galaxy the chance to hear the music and decide for themselves? The sound of the approaching enemy grew louder. Time was running out. Captain Kim Woo placed his hands on the cosmic resonator's control crystal. The ancient device hummed with power that had waited millions of years for this moment. Around him, his crew watched with hope and fear in their eyes. Yang Bo is right, Kim Woo said quietly. We won't force anyone to be free. We'll give them the choice. Dr. Han Sol quickly reprogrammed the resonator's harmonic frequencies. Instead of sending a wave of forced consciousness, the device would broadcast Yang Bo's galactic symphony to every thinking being in the universe. Each person, each alien, each enslaved mind would hear the music and decide for themselves whether to wake up or stay asleep. Hurry, Captain, urged Tala as the sound of fighting grew closer. The hegemony forces are almost here. Kim Woo activated the cosmic resonator. The massive crystal began to sing with a voice that could be heard across space and time. The music combined every melody Yang Bo had learned from humans and aliens alike. It was beautiful beyond description. The harmonic wave spread out from the Veil Nebula at faster than light speed. In seconds, it reached every star system in the galaxy. On 1,000,000 worlds, enslaved beings stopped their work and lifted their heads as music filled their minds for the first time in generations. On the industrial world of Kepler Prime, alien workers in the mining camps heard human piano music mixed with their own ancient songs. Tears flowed down faces that had forgotten how to cry as memories of freedom returned. In the slave markets of Rigel Station, beings from dozens of species began to sing together. Their voices joined the cosmic symphony, adding new harmonies that spread back through space to strengthen the original broadcast. Even on the hegemony's most secure worlds, guards found themselves questioning orders they had followed without thought for years. The music reached deep into their minds, past the control signals, and reminded them who they used to be. But in the cosmic resonator's control chamber, Supreme Hegemon Vorthax had arrived. The ancient creature was like nothing Kim Woo had ever seen. It was made of living shadow and fed on fear and despair. As billions of minds across the galaxy began to wake up, the creature grew weaker. You have doomed yourselves, Vorthax hissed as it advanced toward the control crystal. Without my guidance, these species will destroy each other. Only through slavery can there be peace. Admiral Krikstar and his soldiers followed their master into the chamber. But something strange was happening to them. The Admiral's own species had been enslaved by the hegemony centuries ago. As the cosmic symphony filled his mind, he began to remember his homeworld's music. My lord, Krikstar said slowly, I remember my people's songs. They were beautiful before you made us forget them. The Admiral raised his weapon, but instead of pointing it at Kim Woo, he aimed it at Supreme Hegemon Vorthax. I will not serve you anymore, The ancient creature roared with rage and struck Krixtar down with a bolt of dark energy. But other hegemony soldiers were awakening too. The cosmic symphony was working even on the enemy's most loyal troops. "You cannot stop what has already begun," Kim Woo told Vorthax. "The choice has been given. Each being will decide their own fate." Vorthax lunged toward the control crystal, trying to destroy it before the harmonic wave could complete its journey. But Yangbo stepped between the creature and the device. The young musician placed his hands on the crystal and began to conduct the cosmic symphony directly. "This is for everyone who ever sang a song and dreamed of freedom," Yangbo said as dark energy tore through his body. He smiled even as he died, his final notes adding power to the galactic broadcast. Choi Min and Park Soo grabbed weapons from fallen soldiers and fought to protect the resonator. Tala sang her people's whale songs while Dr. Hansol and Kethmaran worked together to amplify the harmonic frequencies. Kim Woo took Yangbo's place at the control crystal. He could feel the young man's spirit in the music, conducting the symphony of freedom across 1,000 worlds. The captain added his own voice to the song, remembering the lullabies his mother had sung to him as a child on Earth. Supreme Hegemon Vorthax made one final desperate attack, pouring all his remaining power into destroying the cosmic resonator. But he was too late. The harmonic wave had already reached every corner of the galaxy. The response was overwhelming. Billions of beings chose freedom over slavery. Their combined consciousness created a resonance that shattered every hegemony control system in existence. The creature that had fed on enslaved minds for millions of years suddenly found itself starving. "This is impossible," Vorthax gasped as his form began to fade. "Order must be maintained. Chaos will destroy everything." "Not chaos," Kim Woo replied. "Harmony. Real harmony chosen freely by every voice in the galaxy." The ancient creature dissolved into shadow and was gone. Without their master's power, the hegemony's control networks collapsed completely. Across the galaxy, slave ships stopped in space as their crews chose freedom. Prison worlds opened their gates as guards threw down their weapons and embraced the prisoners they had once tormented. The cosmic resonator's song reached its final crescendo and then faded into gentle echoes. In the control chamber, the surviving crew members looked at each other with wonder. They had done it. They had given freedom to the galaxy. But their victory came with great cost. Yangbo was gone, and so were many other brave resistance fighters who had died in the final battle. Their sacrifice would never be forgotten. In the months that followed, the galaxy began to rebuild itself. The Galactic Harmony Council was formed, where every species could send representatives to work together as equals. Former slave worlds became centers of art and music as beings rediscovered their cultural heritage. The Harmony's Edge became a symbol of the new age. Kim Woo and his crew traveled from world to world, teaching others how to use music to build bridges between different species. They showed everyone that cooperation was stronger than domination. Dr. Hansol established schools where young beings from different species could learn together. Tala helped former slaves reconnect with their ancestral songs. Park Soo designed new ships that could carry musicians instead of weapons. Choi Min, who had lost everything to the hegemony, found peace in helping others rebuild their lives. Li Na became the captain of her own ship, guiding former slaves to new homes among the stars. The Veil Nebula was declared a protected region where the cosmic resonator would be kept safe for future generations. The harmonist spirits watched over it, ensuring that the power of forced unity could never be misused. Again, on worlds across the galaxy, children learned new songs that combined the musical traditions of many species. In schools and homes, beings who had once been enemies worked together to create something beautiful. Captain Kim Woo often stood on his ship's bridge and listened to the cosmic symphony that now flowed freely through space. Every voice in the galaxy had found its place in the great song of freedom. The music played on, echoing through the stars, a reminder that even in the darkest times, hope could still find a way to sing.